time, but you've said something so interesting that I am going to have to follow it up. It does sound as if, you know, you are talking about some sort of threat. People listening out there will think your party is saying we will take to the streets, because Egypt, yes, there were demonstrations, but people died. So what exactly are you saying? Because we will live here and you say maybe you were misquoted.
No, I didn't say people should kill anyone. Yemen, Egypt, Tunisia is the ruling class pushing the people to the wall. The truth of the matter is, when people say enough is enough, they mean it. In the days or in recent times in Kano, the election that brought in Shekarau into power was because people rose up to defend their votes. It's recorded. They went with jerry cans in their hands, match in one hand, jerry can carrying petrol in the other. They cast their votes, and they followed those who were carrying the ballot from place to collation center. It got to a point, a critical point, that they started calling Asorok, and they were speaking to Obasanjo, and he's alive to confirm this, that we cannot change these figures like we used to. That's what we are talking about.
Chief Oyagu, the election that brought your principal into the seat of power in Kano has been quoted by Pastor Bakari. The strategy as he described it, is this something that your party endorses now for this election?
Oh, clearly, very much so. Let me start with the conclusion, because I don't know if Pastor is trying to be nice and decent about his choice of words. The old adage says, those who make peaceful change impossible. In the Nigerian case, if you make it impossible, then you are inviting violent change. It is not the voter that is creating it. It is not the party that you want to cheat that is creating it. But the voter who feels concerned about his vote, the sacredness of it, you cannot, it doesn't need anybody to tell him what to do. So don't ignite the situation. The situation in Nigeria today is very easily combustible. Very, very easily combustible. People have had enough. People are disenchanted with the ruling party. People are disenchanted with the PDP. 12 years, for Christ's sake. 12 years. You promised us power in 6 months. It didn't come. In 6 years, it didn't come. In 10 years, it didn't come. You then came and said, 7-point program. You are going to solve problem. Again, you are going to solve power problem. You are going to solve Niger Delta problem. You are going to solve unemployment. Today they have, and let me not list the rest. Which one today are they even mentioning? Do they even mention one? The last time I read the papers, it said, well, we won't give any date again for reliable power supply. Meanwhile, and that is what, no, please, this point must be made. Meanwhile, trillions are being spent ostensibly to give this country power. What is happening to those funds?
Thank you very much, Chief Oyagu. Now, let me move quickly to Mr. Fola Adiola. We've been talking about elections and the possible conduct. In earlier conversation, Pastor Bakari and Chief Oyagu were talking about the importance of protecting the vote. Are you satisfied with what you have seen so far in terms of the planning for the voting? Do you think we will get credible elections in April?
I hope so. Satisfied? No. But we are going to have an election in April, and I hope that they will meet minimum requirement. Things don't change overnight, but if we're able to meet minimum requirement, we should be able to say to ourselves, we move forward. I don't expect a perfect election, but I expect a reasonable election. And today, if my understanding is correct, over 70 million Nigerians carry their cell phones. We will take photographs. We will observe everything with all that we have at our disposals. We will announce results using cell phone and text to ourselves. And we'll make it impossible for, what do they call them, Poverty Development Party, to keep us in that poverty development to return to power. That is what we must do. My understanding of what Pastor Bakare is saying is that people need to defend their vote by not just casting it and going back home, assuming that there's a system there that's going to defend them. Stay there, monitor it, make sure that it is counted and recorded in your favor in the manner that you want it. If they say your name is not there, ask them where your name is and make sure you track it. It might be a bit strenuous, but you know, it's not too much to pay for your salvation. And this time is about your salvation. You know, it's about the 70% of the people that are poor and 70% of the people that are under 18. They need to go to school. They need to find hospitals. They need to find where they're going to eat. And when they've left school, they need to find jobs to do. It's about that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adiola. Now, I'd like to take this question, and I want each of the candidates to spend a minute trying to answer it before we go for the next break. It is from Hurola Ajakai, and basically, this person wants to know what you all think about the PDP not taking part in this debate and what you think it portends for democracy. And I'm happy for any one person to start, but please remember you all have a minute each.
The only word I can find is it's a travesty. You know, it's impudence, impunity. You know, when people don't have regard for even basic norms of conduct, you know, then they behave in this way. When they are totally conceited, self-absorbed, then they do this kind of thing. You know, at the end of the day, those who the gods want to kill, you know, they first make mad. That is the kind of way I can describe their conduct tonight. Thank you.
Well, the way I look at it is that the PDP is telling us, telling the Nigerian people that they don't need their votes. They don't need to convince them. They have their old methods, which is what we have discussed. But I think the only warning one can give is that in their own interests, in the interest of the Nigerian nation, they should not try it this time around.
Pastor Bakare, very quickly.
I agree with what my two friends have said. The truth of the matter is this. It is unfortunate that this is happening under the watch of President Jonathan Goodluck, on whose behalf we rose to fight the culture of impunity in this country. Those who observe lying vanities forsake their own mercy. How quickly he has forgotten. Indeed, fat bellies don't know anything called hunger, because if he is thorough, he will not ask his vice president to walk out on the people of Nigeria. And with one accord, the people of Nigeria will also reject the entirety of PDP in the 2011 election.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we will examine the post of vice president. When you're in second in command, what are you really in command of? Join me after the break.
Thank you.